spoken light, and so it was, and so it was. He was spoken, he was spoken light, and so it was, and so it was, so it was, and Goddess saw the light, and it was good, so good, and God saw the light, and it was good, so good.
Chodesh Tov, everyone. I'm Kohenet Kitzira, and I'm so pleased to welcome you back to OneShul for our Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan service tonight at a slightly earlier hour than usual. So very pleased to see many people joining us live for the service, and appreciate everybody flowing with our time change. Honestly predicated by my yoga class changing time to 8 o'clock tonight. So I really appreciate everybody helping me get to my amazing restorative yoga class on Sunday night. Our opening music was by the amazing Yael Ilah. It's called In the Beginning, and you can find it on Bandcamp at yaelilah.bandcamp.com. I posted the link in the chat room, and for those who do not attend live, it will also be in the description, and I can post it in the members community for those who belong to that as well. And just a reminder for everybody, if you do have offerings, whether they're audio, they're video, they're text, if you're a member of the OneShul members community, which means you've been coming to live services and using the private community to get to know members better, you are more than welcome and very much invited to share those things in the community. It is a private community. It is not public. You can't even find it unless you're a member. So please feel free to take advantage of that space to share offerings with each other and get to know each other more. So Talia, hope you'll share that in the community with everybody. So we come together again this month, as we do every month as a community, or most months at least, to welcome in the new month, give thanks for the month that has passed, ask for strength for the month that is beginning, and opening ourselves for receiving of blessings of divine energy. And I was thinking recently about how many years now I've been using this Rosh Chodesh format. As many of you know, it began with a small Rosh Chodesh community that I led out of my home quite a few years ago now, it seems. And when I first began leading Rosh Chodesh services here at OneShul, I wondered if it would transition, if it would work. And amazingly it has, and it's been the format that I've used here ever since. It becomes for me, and I think for at least some others, a bit of a touch point, a familiar pattern. And as is spiralinear time, even though the service is mostly the same each month, we change, the world around us changes. So it gives us a chance to engage in these familiar patterns, but see how we may have changed or what is new that we bring to it each month. And I think about that in particular with how we open our service, which is creating of sacred space by singing ourselves in. This is the one holiday I don't light candles to help delineate between sacred times. I don't know why, I guess I could add that, but I've always used this idea of singing ourselves in, of naming ourselves into the space, probably because that was a really important part of the early Rosh Hashanah rituals that I used to lead. And so this month, like so many months, I ask you, what is the name you wish to be sung into our space as? What name is resonating for you tonight for yourself? How would you like this community to sing you in to the month of Cheshvan that is just beginning? It may be your everyday name. I was about to say your English name, but not everyone here has English as their primary or first language. Your everyday name. It might be your Hebrew name. It might be just a word that you want to carry with you over the course of the month. You don't have to commit to it for a long time, just for this moment in time, the way you wish to be sung in. And as you're taking a moment to think on that name and share them in the chat room, take a moment to close your eyes. Take in 3 slow, deep breaths, breathing very fully into your body and exhaling all the way out. If you're seated, find your seat centered. Your feet as firmly on the floor as you're able. Your spine as upright and erect as you're able. Drawing the breath fully in and out of your body. And imagine yourself standing on a tiny garden path. It's a very narrow garden pathway. It's fall, it's the autumn here on this pathway, so the trees and the plants are beginning to change. The path you're standing on is brick. To your right, there are plants and a fence. On your left, there's more plants and a house, a brick house with faded white paint. In front of you is an archway, a garden arbor. You're standing in a line in the order of the names that are being shared. On the other side of that garden gateway, the arbor, is me, lighting a fire to welcome you across the threshold. And on either side of you, there are stations along the way. There's scented water. There's herbs burning to smudge yourself with. There's all manner of ways to cleanse and release whatever it is you need to cleanse and release. Maybe for you that is crystals or a singing bowl or just a station to breathe deeply, maybe a mirror, a bowl of water. Whatever it is that you need to cleanse yourself is there. And as we sing Milo in as the first person, and Milo, I hope if I've not been pronouncing your name right, if it's Milo or anything else, you will tell me. But as I sing Milo in, Milo will join across the gateway with me and turn and face Talia and help me sing Talia in. And then Talia will cross and help us sing Mariam Phoenix in, and again and again. And we begin with our Baruch Hu on page 2. Baruch Hu, dear one, Shekhinah holiness, When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. Baruch Hu, dear one, Shekhinah, holy name. When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. Baruch Hu, dear one, Shekhinah, holy name. When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. Baruch Hu, dear one, Aluma Tova Leah. You have called on the light of your soul. Welcome home. Baruch Hu, dear one, my low holy name. You have called on the light of your soul. You've come home. Baruch Hu, dear one, Taya, holy name. You have called on the light of your soul. Welcome home. Baruch Hu, dear one, Mariam Phoenix, beloved magical bird. You have called on the light of your soul. Welcome home. Baruch Hu, dear one, Ellie and Riley, Allison. You have called on the light of your souls. Welcome home. Baruch Hu, dear one, Ava, holy name. You have called on the light of your soul. Welcome home. Baruch Hu, dear one, Simcha, holy name. You have called on the light of your soul. Welcome home. Baruch Hu, dear one, Riley, holy name. You have called on the light of your soul. Welcome home. Baruch Hu, dear one, Judith Edith, holy name. You have called on the light of your soul. Welcome home. Baruch Hu, dear one. Angela, Angela, holy name. You have called on the light of your soul. Welcome home. Baruch Hu, dear one. Albert, holy name. You have called on the light of your soul. Welcome home. All together, the final stanza 3 times on page 2. Baruch Hu, dear one. Shekhinah, holy name. We have called on the light of our souls. We've come home. Baruch Hu, dear one. Shekhinah, holy name. We have called on the light of our souls. We've come home. Baruch Hu, dear one. Shekhinah, holy name. We have called on the light of our souls. We've come home. Breathe in here and now, releasing anything that is holding you in a different time or space, anything that is trying to crowd into your mind right now. There is nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to do, except be here, now, and present in this moment in time, in this sacred community that bridges time and space and geography to be with one another. And let us say, Amen. And welcome to Albert, Al, and to Riley joining us for the first time tonight. Welcome. We are so grateful to have you here with us. And much of the community here tonight are longtime members of the community, or at least many time members of our community, so they can help you along if you get lost along the way. So now that we are here, we are now. We find things to be grateful for. This 4-part practice that we have for Rosh Chodesh here in this community, at least when I'm leading my practice, that I share with you and that I'm grateful you participate in with me. We begin by centering ourselves in all that has gone right in the month that has come to a close, the month of Tishrei. We live in a society that focuses very much on all that is wrong And there is a lot to be concerned about and a lot to be raising our voices against. But in our individual lives, so much goes right every day. And I know many of you have heard this before, but we can't remind ourselves enough. We level out in what works. It becomes normal. And so we forget how precious and amazing it is. There is science that backs this up. That the bad crowds out the good because the good just becomes normal. So does the bad sometimes, but the good even more. And we forget how amazing it is that hopefully everyone here tonight has a safe place to sleep. And that's not a given in our world at all. That everyone here tonight has enough electricity to be online. And that is not a given in our world right now. That everybody here, hopefully, if you have internet, that means that you also have enough food to eat, which is not a given in our world, and clean water, which is not a given in our world. That you live a life that is allowing you to pause, however briefly, and participate in this sacred community, which is not a given in our world. That your health is at least good enough that you are here right now with us, which is not a given in our world and any of our lives. So a lot has gone right to bring us all together tonight. And with our practice of using the prayer of gratitude from the morning prayer service, Moda Ani, which seems appropriate as for some it is early evening, for some it is the middle of the afternoon, for some it is the very early hours of the next day, and for some of us it is the middle of the night. And especially for those of you who this may be your first time with us, don't think we're not going to get to the things that we need help with and the acknowledging of things in our world that aren't right and that we need to raise our voices against. But we start by centering ourselves in gratitude. Because part of the purpose of coming together each month is to restore ourselves, to help us be more resilient, to do the work of Tikkun Olam, to do the hard work of being good Jews in the world, to do the hard work of just being decent people in the world. And it's not easy. Should be, but it's not. And again, there is science to back up that if you center yourself in a practice of gratitude, you will begin each day feeling more resourced and will be more resilient as a person and as a part of a community. And so, as always, I ask you, what are you grateful for? Share your gratitudes with this community so we can bless up your gratitudes and be grateful for them for you. And the reminder of our Shamati practice. The word Shamati means I hear you. And we use that to acknowledge what each person shares, both in the good and in the struggles that we'll share soon. Simply to say I hear you. We don't have to judge or comment on what someone is saying beyond just acknowledging I hear. So, Shamati. As I begin our chant, please join in with me as on page 3. We'll do the Hebrew and the English. Moda ani if you identify as a woman. Modeh ani if you identify as a man. Lifanaich is feminine God language. Lifanecha is masculine God language. And then we move to English, which is gender neutral, and we all can sing together without thought to our gender in that moment, or the gender of the divine. Moda ani lifanaich, Moda ani lifanaich, Ruach Chai, yemet v'kayemet. Moda ani lefanecha, moda ani lefanecha, ruach chai mekayam. Oh, we are grateful. Oh, we are grateful in the face of the one, in the face of the one. Oh, we are grateful. Oh, we are grateful for Talia attending CanCon, which I don't even know what that is, but I don't care because it's awesome because Talia's happy about it. And being on 5 panels. Oh, we are grateful. Oh, we are grateful for life, health, and love. And Reb Gila's trip to Israel, Palestine. Oh, we are grateful. Oh, we are grateful for Milo's parents and sisters move going well, and Al's safe return of friends and family to California from Florida. Oh, we are grateful. Oh, we are grateful for learning how to accept ourselves and herself, and family and health. Oh, we are grateful. Oh, we are grateful that Al fought to survive, and that Riley found this community. Back to the Hebrew. Moda ani lefanayich, moda ani lefanayich, ruach chai v'kayemet. Moda ani lefanecha, moda ani lefanecha, ruach chai v'kayam. Over to the English with the actual words. Oh, we are grateful. Oh, we are grateful in the face of the one, in the face of the one. Oh, we are grateful. Oh, we are grateful in the face of the one, in the face of the one. Breathe in gratitude. Breathe out silly nonsense that may be clouding your mind still. Breathe in gratitude. Breathe out anything left clouding you up. Breathe in gratitude. Breathe out gratitude. How do you feel right now? Don't judge it, just take it in as information. How are you feeling in this exact moment in time? And breathe in deeply and exhale. Let oxygen do its amazing work in your body. Let it physically fill you up. Let it bring nourishment to every cell and tiny being, bacteria, paramecia, healthy thing that lives inside of you. You are the exact same size in relation to the universe as the tiniest thing inside of you is to you. You contain multitudes of universes that don't believe in you, just as many can't fathom that the divine exists outside of us. So breathe in and out, bringing in gratitude in the form of oxygen to fill your body and all that dwells inside of you. So it may reverberate out to the divine, however you understand it, in gratitude. Being just that much more centered and grounded and filled up than you might have been just a few moments ago. Let us say Amen. And our Amen and our place of strength and resource and resilience brings us to Micha Mocha. It brings us from a place of strength, from a place of gratitude, of center, of being filled up, to let our minds go to now the things that may not be so easy. The challenges, the struggles, the obstacles, those things that may have hidden blessings in them, but may not be the way we choose to learn and receive those blessings. We use this song, this prayer of Micha Mocha, which is a prayer of acknowledging the true, awesome power of the divine, the incredible expansiveness of the divine as each of us understands and experiences it. We use this prayer, this song, this chant to pluck, hopefully, just the right strings on the web of life, on the web of the divine, of the weaving, of the woven one and the weaver. To maybe either make these challenges that much easier, or to let us that much more quickly understand the teachings they bring, or just to give us that much more strength to get through them. And we share these challenges, these obstacles, these hopefully blessings in disguise, these things that we may not be grateful for, but for which in a moment we can find something to be grateful for. We share them also with our community. So we may pray for you, we may bless you, we may try to ping on that resonance so you can at least know you're not alone, both in the presence and experience of the divine and all of that that resides within you, and also with this community that is here, even just in this moment in time, to support you. And I'll turn the singing over as usual to Te'ama as she leads us through this song. And I ask you, what is it that you need strength for in this month of Cheshvan? Cheshvan, that is just beginning. Ugh, so easy to name, isn't it? so easy to name the things that seem like challenges, the things that are challenges. For some of us, just physically surviving each day. For others, dealing with the world around us, claiming personal sovereignty and agency. Each of them a true and honest and unique struggle in its own way. So let us say, Amen. These challenges that are presenting themselves in Cheshvan. What is Cheshvan all about? Mar Cheshvan, bitter Cheshvan, yeah? That's the roots of the word Cheshvan, the name. They tell us it's bitter because there are no holy days, no holidays, which isn't entirely true, actually. On the 11th of Cheshvan, we have the yahrzeit of Rachel Imenu, Rachel the matriarch, that some of us honor and celebrate in the same way that some honor and celebrate the yahrzeit of Moses and some of the other patriarchs. That's 11 Cheshvan if you want to do that. And then also on the 29th of Cheshvan, there's Sigd, which is an Ethiopian Jewish holiday, which for millennia was only celebrated by the Jews of Ethiopia and is now actually recognized in Israel and Palestine as a holy day. And so it seems like a welcoming and opening for all of us to begin to honor this holy day of Sigd as a way of acknowledging that Judaism isn't just white, that it's not just European Jewry, that the totality of Judaism is so much more than that. And so also, let's take a look now, this image that I put up on your screen. And that is a continuing journey through the year. So on the left is the month of Tishrei, in the center is Cheshvan, and on the right is Kislev. And this is the transparent tarot, which I used several years ago to sort of see what the year looked like. And we go from judgment to the month of reaping. And Cheshvan for me is a month of stillness in so many ways. But it's also a month of the harvest, and maybe it's the end of the harvest, so we're heading to stillness. And it's a month of memory as well. That then leads us into Kislev, which is the rainbow there on the right, which is temperance. And temperance meaning the forging of something new through opposites. But in the middle there, we have the ending of something before the beginning of something new. So Cheshvan is a month of introspection as well, and a chance to lock in so much of what we may have done the work for in Elul and in Tishrei with the High Holy Days. All of that praying that we did, all that work that we did, this is the month to bring it home, to bring it in, to make it real. So happy birthday, Adele, whose birthday is on 11 Cheshvan. What an auspicious day. So, Cheshvan, we can choose for it to be a month that is bitter and sad because there were no holidays for a long time. We can also choose to be very, very grateful that we have a break from the very busy holiday season. And then that idea of memory and what it's calling to us and what we're being called to remember. And our chant for the month is a chant that came to me a year or two ago and is inspired by the Netivah, the pathway of sacred practice from Kohenet tradition, called the Mekonenet, the mourning woman. And the mourning woman is the one who raises her voice in keening. Oh, exactly, Talia. It's Shabbat anyway. There's always a holy day. It's a day that ends in Y. We wake up. The sun shines. We fall asleep. We wake up again. It's a miracle. It's always a holy day. But the Mekonenet challenges us. The Mekonenet is the one who, in ancient days, was a professional mourner. Their job was to keen and to wail, to awaken people's passions to injustice. And I have to admit right now, I'm not feeling the need to hear this keening personally, more feeling the need to embody it. And she embodies the truth of pain and the truth of change. And I think for so many of us, it seems like that is what our world is doing right now. And there are those who, I don't even know how to encapsulate it, so I'm not going to even go there right now because I don't have the right words in this moment. But as we stop and integrate, the question the Mekonenet is asking us is, who are we forgetting? Who are we leaving behind? Whose pain are we unwilling to see? Whose suffering are we blind to? So sing with me as you pick up the tune on page 6, or just close your eyes and go with it. And if you choose to name a community, a group that you believe that their pain is unseen, that we need to continually remind ourselves to be reminded, to see them and honor them, please feel free to name them in the chat room. Mekonenet, make us remember. Mekonenet, make us remember. Mekonenet, make us remember. Open our eyes to suffering. Open our hearts to their pain. Open our eyes to suffering. Open our hearts to their pain. Mekonenet, make us remember. Mekonenet, make us remember. Mekonenet, make us remember. Open our eyes to suffering. Open our hearts to their pain. Open our eyes to suffering. Open our hearts to their pain. Mekonenet, make us remember. Mekonenet, make us remember. Mekonenet, make us remember. Open our eyes to their suffering. Open our hearts to their pain. Mekonenet, make us remember. Mekonenet, make us remember. Mekonenet, make us remember. Open our eyes to suffering. Open our hearts to their pain. Mekonenet, make us remember. Mekonenet, make us remember. Mekonenet, make us remember. Open our eyes to suffering. Open our hearts to their pain. Open our eyes to suffering. Open our hearts to their pain. Mekonenet, make us remember. Mekonenet, make us remember. Mekonenet, make us remember. Open our eyes to suffering. Open our hearts to their pain. Open our eyes to suffering. Open our hearts to their pain. Makonenet, make us remember. Makonenet, help them remember. Makonenet, make us remember. We hold these difficult truths in our hearts. We hold these difficult moments in our hearts. We open our eyes. We refuse to go back to sleep. We find ways to get through the day, being awake to pain and suffering around us, doing in each moment what each is capable of to alleviate pain and suffering in the world, to bring justice, to relieve oppression. In this month of Cheshvan, we open our hearts, we open our eyes, we refuse to be blinded. We refuse to go back to sleep. We refuse to have the memories wiped away, to be numbed away. We call out what we see. We hold out our hands. We do what each is able in each moment. And we are grateful for each moment when we, as individuals, as communities, and as a world, are able to lessen the suffering of another. And let us say, Amen. Thank you for joining me here tonight, taking the time for Rosh Chodesh practice, because it is a practice. Being Jewish is practice. We practice. We practice every day, in every moment, in every breath. We practice in prayer and in how we move in the world. We practice by coming together, and we put into practice our practice out in the world. Thank you for joining me here tonight. Thank you for being a part of OneShul. If you are new here tonight, I know to Riley Al you are, and you wish to become a member of OneShul, you've done it. Coming to live services, you're a member. We have a private members community on Facebook. Again, it is not a community you can find unless you have been invited to it. It is a space for the community to get to know each other better, to share with each other, to experiment, to practice together, and to support each other. So if you are not yet part of that private community, if you have not been invited, please email me if you wish, and I will get you connected into it. And remember, it is your community, so please take advantage of it, use it, share, experiment, play. And if you do appreciate what we do here at OneShul, I hope you will also consider donating to OneShul. All of the work that I do here is volunteer. All the work that everyone does for OneShul is volunteer. But it helps to keep the stream streaming. And imagine how much more we could do with just a little bit more of your green energy or colorful energy, depending on where in the world you live, if you're able to share it. And don't think for a second that your presence and your investments of time are also not incredibly appreciated. It doesn't take much to keep the stream streaming, so we appreciate your time, your talents, and whatever it is you're able to share to help us keep this running. We will be back with you again as soon. We need to update the calendar, hopefully a Shabbat service in the next couple of weeks, and then of course back for Rosh Chodesh. In the meantime, you know how to find me. Laila Tov for wherever you are in the world. Good night, and we turn again to the beautiful sounds of Yael Ilah to close out our service tonight. Chodesh Tov.